Oil prices are in focus. I love this chart. I love this name by Zero Hedge, calling it the strategic midterm reserve. And it's very impossible not to equate what has been done by the White House. They have been selling aggressively oil from our strategic petroleum reserve. It's there for this reason. It's there in the event of a global big supply chain problem. But you can't sit here and not recognize that we are heading into an election season, and the management of this has been really, really ugly. OPEC has cut by 2 million barrels of its production. And keep this in mind, OPEC is 65% of global production the last time I checked. Then you start to add in the plus, the total 23 countries that are involved, and you move into a very high tier. It shows that the United States is relatively a smaller part of the global production side. But remember, when it comes to oil, there is the supply side. And the supply side consists of OPEC driving global oil prices. Yes, presidential policy will impact prices. It is a little weird to me that the White House has said we helped drive down gasoline prices when 6 months ago they were saying presidents don't impact oil prices. And today they're coming out and saying presidents don't impact oil prices. In the short term, moves like selling from the Strategic Petroleum Reserve does impact prices. It has impacted the front month contract for the last few months. But we are supposed to stop this in October. I do not know how we can continue to do this without creating a national emergency. In the event that we see Russia try to go into Poland or Estonia or any of these other Baltic nations, or you see China try to move into Taiwan, we're not going to have oil that is going to be absolutely necessary for a strategic military capacity. But the other side of this is just the basic idea that we have been beating demand into the ground. During the summer of 2020, or 2022, we had lower demand in 2022 than during the shutdowns of COVID in 2020. That is an amazing feat by the Federal Reserve, which continues to raise rates and impacts demand, while oil prices are actually moving relatively lower as a result of that stronger dollar. Keep that in mind. When the dollar is stronger, the oil prices move lower. On the other side of this, though, is the demand side. And globally, the United States is not the demand factor that everybody should be focusing on. It's China. And China is engaging in dramatic shutdowns of its economy due to COVID. So on the back side of this, 2023, where we are limiting supply from OPEC, we have producers here in the United States that are cutting back on production. We had a rig count drop for the first time back to 2020. As a result of this, supply is constrained, and the biggest demand component that we can look at is completely off the grid. When that comes back, demand will outstrip supply. China will come back online. That is likely to be extremely bullish right now for oil prices moving forward. I consider this right now in the energy sector the only game in town. So we're going to trade in world's biggest trade, both to speculate for higher oil prices using the UCO, which is the ultra ETF for oil prices, but also start to focus on targeting those stocks that I mentioned earlier: Devon, Marathon, Exxon, everyone else in that category, specifically in Texas, the Permian Basin, because those places are going to generate great income regardless of where oil prices are at 75, 70, 65 if it were to fall. But if it moves higher, these companies are going to gush profits, literally. I got to jump over to the world's biggest trade right now. Everybody have a great day. I will be back tomorrow for a very full day of the Garrett Baldwin Show. I think I'm on 4 times tomorrow. So I will see you all then. Have a great day, and I will talk to you soon. Cheers. Thanks, Brandon.